Hi everyone, it's Matthew and I'm back with another video of Euro Truck Simulator 2. So today we're taking this Caterpillar 637G 50 tons from Prague to Goleniow, I think is how you say that, in Poland. And today we're using the Kenworth W900A. Well, that was good. Yeah, Kenworth W900A, and this is that custom mod I said about in the last video. I'd using it again to take this job. I won't use it for every video. Don't worry. It's not going to be like how it was back in August of several videos of the same truck. No, nothing like that. Oh, much different than that. There we go. So anyway, it's now Saturday, the 21st of February 2015, and as you know, I'll be going back to school next Tuesday. So I'll have tomorrow, possibly, and maybe Monday to record another video, but if not, this will be back to one video per week for a certain amount of time until I get the chance to you know, record some more videos, to record various more videos to have 2 out per week for a couple of weeks, and then back to 1 video per week. But yeah, for now just 1 video per week, but it's better than nothing. It's at least that you have something you can at least not expect, but at least hope, because it is a hope that I get it out. Because most of the time I have got this 1 video per week schedule out, and it works fairly well. So anyway, this truck, I never talked about my new overlay last time. Basically, let's check something in a second. Yeah. This overlay that I have, yeah, I didn't make it. I bought it off the shop called Twitch Designs, and it cost me about £6, and it's very good. Comes with a ton of things. I use some of them for my Twitch page, and then use the rest of it for the overlay and whatever, and various scenes. And you know, I like it. I do like it. It's very nice, and I think with the green writing, it really does set it off nice. I don't know if green and black would work. Green and black might work, but don't exactly know. Yeah, this is on the MHA Pro Map 1.7. I believe there is a new one out, but I haven't downloaded it yet. And using the Rus Map 1.48, I believe it is. But anyway, so I'll tell you what I've been doing lately. I've been getting back into some spin tires with a couple of friends of mine, and on a map called EL Brosco Bravo or something like that, and it's a pretty nice map. It's very challenging, and it is a very good map for what it is, and it's definitely good, and I do like it. Installing mods in spin tires again is work a little more complicated. It's what you have to do. Spin tires, once you have you extract the mods and whatever, you have to open up spin tires mod enabler in your spin tires directory, and then you have to start up spin tires, and then you have to alt tab out of spin tires and then enable the mods you want in that mod enabler, and then they'll work. If you don't do that, they won't work. a lot of this goes up very interesting country road. That is for sure. All of it's country road. This is going to be interesting. That is for sure. Obviously not as interesting as that Tricky Roads map, because that Tricky Roads map is about up there, difficult in how difficult it is with the Rus map and spin tires. It really is. I was chatting to a friend yesterday, and he says, and he was talking about various things. He says, "Oh, you're so interesting to listen to. If you talk about one thing that you like, you make it so interesting. You have such detail about it, whatever." Well, that's fair enough, I suppose. He said, "Oh, just talk about anything. When you don't have everything to talk about anything. Talk about your specialist subjects. Real this, real that, or whatever." So well, I'm gonna talk about some of my likes of transport like that. I'll tell you the one thing, folks, that I can tell you. I love big machinery. Anything that is buses, trucks, cars, trains, old industrial equipment. I love it. It's just so big and gets your pace, your pulse racing, and I do like it a lot. And you know, and the closest thing to me that I like is probably buses, because I travel on them not regularly, but every couple of weeks, I suppose. Oh, jeez. I think that's because my load is so heavy. That's why that happened. Jesus. Wow. Anyway. So yeah, I go to bus museums about twice a year, and my favourite bus at that bus museum is the first West Midlands Modern Transport bus, which is a Leyland Olympian from 1980, and it has such a nice skin on it, and it's the first ever one, and I've been on it once, and it was like a dream come true. And I do wish they'd still use them now, but there's obviously quite logical reasons why they don't use them now. First, the seats obviously nowadays aren't that comfortable. They're a lot under what people expect, and you know, the quality of them, their speed and whatever, it's not as good as it could be. So they just can't use them anymore. But yeah, the ones they use now are still that some similar paint job or skin, and they're about 10-15 years old at the most, and there's the other one which is about 17 years old, which they still use, which is an okay one. And the ones that are used now around the West Midlands transport used now are mainly Volvos, because basically they used Leylands, I believe, until Leyland got took over by Volvo because it was struggling, and Volvo basically make buses now, and they use the odd Scania bus, and they're about 5 years old now, and they do use the odd newer bus which is about 3 years old, but most of the buses they use are about 15 years old-ish. But I still like that 80s one, as it is. So I haven't been on it in like several years. I still want to go on it. If they ever get that bus, if they ever have that bus running again at that bus museum, I'm so going on it again. I'm gonna have to get up at 5 in the morning to do it. I'll get on it and I'll listen to that soundtrack, because that tells me that Leyland did a good job and they started something brilliant, I would say. Yeah, I've been to quite a few museums of transport. Like I've been to Manchester Museum of Transport. I haven't been down to, I think it's Leyland in Preston, because it's quite a distance from here in South Birmingham. It's quite a distance from here. But yeah, I've been to a fair few, and they're quite good, I will admit. They're not quite like the same you see on the DVD, but yeah, they are nice, and I go to them when I can, and they are nice, definitely. The thing is about the most local one in Whittle is it's a museum. If you imagine, most museums are funded by basically people that run them. They actually have employees working for them, and they make money off of the people visiting. Whittle doesn't actually have major employees, because the thing is, it used to be what it used to be. It was a Midland, yeah, that was it, a Midland Red garage. It used to be a Midland Red garage where they serviced Midland Red buses. And basically old buildings, someone decided to take and put a load of old buses in there. And they also restore buses, but because the only people who work there are volunteers, don't get them done that quickly at the moment. Obviously they allow people to donate to them, and obviously donations help. And eventually, hopefully, they should get a decent amount of volunteers in to be able to, you know, restore stuff a bit faster. Because the moment it takes them a long time to restore something, to get everything, you know, done. But once it is done, it does look quite good. What I am going to do though quickly is turn the radio a tiny bit.
Stripped away by Christian Wilton with the flick of a wrist and the ordering of a psyche valve called a Rule 20 psyche valve, which automatically stripped away his option to
Basically, anything that's big and has transportation or just machinery in it, I just love. I really do. I love this Kenworth. I love its speed and I love its mechanics, and you know, with an older vehicle, I feel like it's you and the machine. Because the thing is, in a newer vehicle, you have all these aids and whatever, and it's doing things for you, and you feel like you're not driving properly. With this sort of thing, I feel like I'm actually driving. I feel like it's just me and the machine. Me, the steering wheel, the gear lever, and that's it. And, you know, that type of feeling. What? How the heck have I got 39% damage?
And we don't know.
How the piece of hell have I got that much?
Nothing done.
Oh my god.
Publicly. But for all we know, the psychiatrist could
Let's just try some quickly.
been saying, "What the hell is wrong with you, Wilton? Why would you send me this guy?"
Yeah.
Seriously, how does that happen?
Looking into having you examined.
That's correct. I think Christian Wilton should be subjected to a Rule 20 psyche valve for his
Well, here we are, 254. What I'm going to do is skip ahead to 230. Because, well, whatever we did there,
Because obviously, if he thought John was exhibiting behavior,
whatever we done there, clearly
that required
it didn't like
forced
somehow.
psychological
So,
if
yeah.
there was no evidence for that, and he would
Well,
go to such a this is
yeah,
not
as I was saying,
shrink.
the only thing big with transport in mind or whatever, or just machinery, I love. So,
to get John to do
you know,
that. And
I hope you enjoyed my talk on that. I sure did. And you know, I'll generally probably discuss some things with my friend and see what it says, and think of various things to talk about the videos. I'd like and whatever things that I'm interested in, and you know, and at the end of the day, I think it's much more interesting for you to watch my videos if I always have something to talk about in the video, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't know how it was that damaged, but okay.
Hey, Mr. Straight, do you have anything to offer regarding the evidence interested? Nothing.
Nothing.
At the very least, this man should be investigated for narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality, or sociopathic. Because to order a psych eval with no evidence whatsoever, I got even the most diehard status would have to say,
oh my god, I went the wrong way. Oh my flipping god.
made on the
I've gone the wrong way.
That's
I
gotta
really
be at
have.
least an abuse of power.
Yeah, you would think. And I mean, it would never go. It would go for naught, but it would make a point.
Right, let's go back to where we actually was. Why is the truck still moving? I've got the handbrake on, for God's sake. Right, handbrake is on, let's go. Right, let's quickly get back to where we was, because otherwise this video is going to be just me going left, right and centre, backwards and forwards.
An unbiased and medically correct assessment to even order that in the first place. How about that? How about we sue you for medical malpractice? How about that?
Either way, he's someone like that. Whether he's in really deep trouble, real hot water, if he has no medical training to make such an evaluation on his own and order something like. It's not like he would have. It's something in court where
the only reason I'm doing this is because that trailer damage, for some reason, was really high up.
It's just as bad.
We definitely got past here.
Have medical training.
Right.
Because anybody with any kind of medical training will look at John and say, I may not agree with the man's argument, but if you think this man's crazy, you have problems.
I think you and I have to have a talk. Exactly.
Yeah, we need to sit down and talk here, big guy, because just because somebody asks questions doesn't mean they're crazy. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them, there's something wrong in their head.
Right.
This, at the very least, you're talking about a case of such extreme arrogance.
Right.
You make decisions about other people's lives.
211 miles to go. We got 235 to go, but doesn't matter.
It was the fact that he was attempting to
Still get a decent chat with me, I suppose. Though it still looks like quite a way, but it's not that bad, I suppose. But anyway, so I was saying something like, yeah, big machinery, love, buses, love, just anything big and whatever, I just love. So yeah.
Let me ask you this. Since you had the person first.
But you know, the thing is to me is, you know, if you ask me on a particular topic that I love, I could go on about it all day about it, you know. Anything to talk about, pretty much I could probably keep someone interested, listening about it for quite a long time, and this all. You know, maybe one of these days I should think of, just do comedy in a video, just try and be funny or whatever. Or what I think is funny. And whether viewers find it funny, well, if I then end up getting like 2,000 views on the video or whatever, loads of comments saying, this is so funny, do it again. Well, I think that tells you, don't it? There are 190 miles to go, so it's not too far.
The look on his face, because so much of it was silence, the look on his face and the body language was profound disappointment on the part of Christian S. Wilton, that was the assessment, the psychological professional that came up with the assessment that he was in fact intelligent, rational, and nonviolent. There was no reason he couldn't proceed on his own. You could tell. I understand it's hard for people that have never been in court listening to the show that have never seen that, but if you're in court enough and you watch the mannerisms and listen to the lingo of these folks, there was profound disappointment written all over his face when he read the assessment. I'm just glad he read it accurately, because
yeah, he could have said, you know what, we're going to send him back.
Yeah, the FPS, I will admit, is not the best. That's because this truck is quite graphically demanding, and I don't 100% have the graphics card I need to run it.
That's empathy. That is
I mean, as I told you, this PC, the weakest component is the graphics card, and I can't upgrade it due to the case size, motherboard and power supply. And if the case was big enough, I could basically just change the motherboard and power supply, and then it'd be fine. But sadly, can't do that. So only cause factions to get a new PC at some point. And if I had it by this summer, that'd be ideal. But generally, I'd want one by the end of this year. Because I'm not convinced this graphics card is going to last too much longer, really. With new games coming out or whatever, it's going to really struggle to probably break quite soon.
Some type of regret.
Yeah.
Saying, well, I apologize. At least saying, hey, you know what? John,
At the end of the day, if the graphics card broke down this machine, it wouldn't be worth it replacing it, because you wouldn't be able to replace it with one that was any better. So, and chances are when that goes, you probably blow out the whole bloody thing. So
even it was just veneer, it was just marketing. There was not even that. It was just like, okay,
so you know, if I get my way, I'd
the next thing.
I would have replaced it.
I mean, again, that was
I could replace it now. Or I'd have replaced it like last year.
What's my other angle of attack? This didn't work, so what can I do now?
It's you're casually moving on. It's like that quote from Churchill about, you know, when some people encounter the truth, it knocks them down and they just brush themselves off and keep going.
And keep on walking. Right.
So that's when you look at what the traits, the personality flaws or character flaws with
So I'm selling the old THARS shifter to my friend. Do you know what he offered me? What I'm looking for is a second display and a DVI splitter, whatever it is, for this serve, so I can have two displays here. They offered me a spare monitor. It was 21.5 inch or 19, God knows exactly, but I'm having to think about it, but I might take you up on his offer. The only thing, of course, in a way, is delivery, but get past that, it's a pretty good offer, I think.
Right.
And it's here, the truth is staring him right in the face, and he just brushes himself off and keeps going.
It's complete and utter objectification of another human being, a living, breathing man. The look on his face and the diction of his voice and the words he was saying, it was like he was talking to an object.
But to them they are.
Yes, absolutely.
137, 136.
If you are non-government type like you and I, especially if you challenge them, they look at just like
134.
you are objects. You're not real to them. They can't. I would say Wilton probably has very.
Well, that hasn't severely damaged it yet, but probably going to come up with something and say, oh, you've seriously damaged it, when all they did was hit a car a little bit. It wasn't deliberate.
I'm a little stuck on this. I just think it's a very important issue that people need to know.
Very important, especially.
Yeah, this job is definitely interesting how it's all on country road.
It's the idea.
I suppose it would be in real life, because in this part of Europe, there's not a lot of motorways if you think about it. Because obviously Poland is still recovering from financial troubles of the past, and Prague isn't. Czech Republic is still recovering from stuff, and you know, pretty much they can't really afford to build motorways at the moment, so they just build these country roads, and they may not be as safe apparently, but they do the job. So as long as they do the job, that's all that matters, really.
Watch them do that and be able to comprehend somebody so callous. It's because people will see the pictures of, like, let's say, you know, how the Japanese, how they tortured and killed thousands of people in Manchuria and Nanking. When they can watch you look at pictures or videos of the Nazis just lively shooting people in the head, and they can't make the connection that
115 miles to go.
that is not exclusive to an ethnic group.
Absolutely
Just
not.
because you're born and raised in 1920s Germany doesn't mean that you're any really different psychologically from somebody who's born in Canada. Under the same conditions,
Hopefully we should get this delivered before nightfall if we make good time.
And a milligram track, you repeat the same thing. So while this Christian Wilton was not blithely shooting John in the head, the objectification and the lack of empathy is no.
I'll tell you one truck I probably won't try anytime soon is the Peterbilt 389 because I was seriously demanding on memory and graphics. So.
John, and he would go home and he would eat dinner and pet the dog and
he would be to just to lighten the mood for a second. He would be Judge Smales in Caddyshack, where he says to the caddy, "I've had to sentence children younger than you to the death chamber. Didn't want to do it. Felt I owed it to them." That attitude, and it's funny in a movie, but I'll tell you what, when you see it on the bench, when you see it, and he wasn't ordering obviously John to the gas chamber.
Yeah, 55 miles
The
to go.
same attitude was there. It was banal. It was like it was not like he was. What's the word from one of the movies that we like, Mark?
Come on.
Goodfellas. He handed out 10
Good.
years like he was giving out candy.
Yeah, that was luck.
It's that attitude.
That was so lucky nothing else was coming.
You're not, it's another human being you're affecting. It's a defendant.
Yeah, if I had a decent machine, well, spec that I imagine, they'd probably be getting about 30-40 FPS with this truck-ish, maybe.
Kyle, I love killing human beings.
But I was saying about that, I had someone that had a 9800 GT
It's the same
run a Peterbilt 379 with all their other sort of specs with their machine. 40 frames a second, so about.
whatever label you
Oh.
and it goes with national.
If I could run this at 40 frames a second with a decent PC, that'd be brilliant. Because, you know, it look like it would look something like this probably at 30-40 frames. It would look something like that from the cab. That'd be beautiful. That'd be really nice if that was possible.
Fuck the French. If we hadn't saved their ass in 2 world wars, they'd be speaking German right now.
67 miles to go.
That was us. Was that me and you, Tom? We saved the French? Jesus. I know I blacked out a little bit after that 4th shot of Jägermeister last time. I don't remember.
Actually,
I went through the Wendy's drive-thru.
don't know what that red light's meaning. It must be the fuel thing. Let's see if there's any fuel stations near.
I realized we had no money.
Yeah, there's a fuel station there, so we'll top up with some petrol there. Or fuel, or diesel, or whatever it's called. I don't know what part of the radio station this is meant to mean, or what it's meant to do, but, yeah, whatever. I haven't got absolute full power in the truck because it's 30 ton. It's a 50 ton load. I think for a 550 horsepower engine, it's putting pretty darn well with this massive Caterpillar. And I got the beacon on. I don't believe this thing has any other beacons that work, so I hope the. Oh, jeez, that was close. I hope the one beacon is enough.
Every immigration argument that you hear, they never come from a. Well, how does it affect you?
Now, P, that means parking, not fuel. Once a fuel sign, that means we're close.
What they do is they come here, they get into our education system and our healthcare, and I'm gonna pay the tax. My taxes have to pay that. Well, what the fuck are you doing to me? Every time you have a kid, because it's American, I should pull up a chaise lounge and wave a flag while 15 of those things come out of you. Pay every. Oh, I can't wait to pay for these. They're American. I have a vasectomy and an abortion on my record, but I can't wait for all your fucking fat-headed Midwestern kids to come out of here. What do you got? Come on, people are gonna multiply. Love it. I'll get a second.
Yeah, shows clear the brakes aren't working that well.
They don't speak the language. Then don't talk to them. Your next door neighbor. You've lived there 8.5 years. You've never said one fucking word to
suppose.
Why would you give a shit when the guy sells fucking Econops in a cart in the park speaks? None of your fucking
Oh, 7% damage, that ain't good.
And then all the cliched arguments like that, well, they're lazy, they're shiftless, and they're criminals, and all this. All those arguments go against the main cliched argument of their taking American jobs.
Christmas armistice. How do you get children? Yes, I'm now, though I don't feel it, but I am now.
That's the J grade, which I said in the last video was a bit OTT.
Kids to go kill other 18 and 19-year-old kids 8,000 miles away unless you dehumanize them.
Absolutely. Objectify.
And that's why I mentioned in the book, and it was such a, to me, we just passed the 100th anniversary of the Christmas armistice in where for a couple of days the conditioning broke, and they did not see them as the enemy. They were doing it on both sides.
Yes.
Patriotism on both sides. The English and were just as guilty of it as the Germans.
Of course.
And for that moment, that's one of those things without the internet, without the technology, and hell, really not much of the technology at all. They were able to set aside, even for a few days, the conditioning that they are ugly, they are bad. No matter what I do to them is good, and whatever they do to me is bad. They dropped it.
Yep.
Boy, did it enrage them.
This seems expensive for Poland.
The generals, the so-called leaders on either side were livid.
Absolutely.
Livid.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's €1.22, which isn't so bad.
Of course, they weren't there suffering and having rats knock
So
their
where are
faces
we?
as they slept
This is
in trench bunkers at night and all
sort of
the
on the
other
border, really. Just
horrible
past
things that happened to
Jazzycat,
actual soldiers.
where it's so yeah, we are in Poland now, but we're still quite close to the
How dare
border.
they? It's moving flags around on a map. What's going on here? We can't have this.
Yeah.
That was the attitude.
And
Or objectification, folks. They were objectifying the men that were fighting on their so-called side, because it wasn't them. It was a thing to move around on a map.
And that's what we are. When they haul us into court, because we're things, we're not like them. I'm not making this up. I mean, you have witnessed it many times. I witnessed it myself.
First hand and otherwise. You bet.
Anybody who's ever gone to court and didn't just roll over has experienced it.
Yep.
They have to, and so we all get to, hey, he's a butler, you know, treating people just like pawns in chess. He had it absolutely right. And I'm talking about war pigs. And for the 3 or 4 people listening who are not familiar with that, do yourself a favor and just go to YouTube, go type in war pigs by Black Sabbath, and boy, he hit it out of the park. Those are some of my favorite lyrics. I mean, it's a bad subject matter, but I mean, you know,
It's necessary, though.
it's necessary. I mean, John unfortunately has been bearing the brunt of this, and it doesn't even stop there,
No.
because I had gotten in touch with the several members, all the members. I only spoke to one personally of the chairman of the Scott County Commission, and told them what was going on. I told them John was being tortured, that they were deliberately sleep depriving him. Nothing was
Yeah, I like how they changed in this mod the blue lights. It's just white, because they look a lot more sleek, I think.
For anybody who's thinking, wow, it can't possibly get worse, or this is an isolated thing, you know, once they squared things away and John had his day in court where he actually went to trial, then it'll all come out, right? Is that what happened? I'm talking about the first trial a few weeks ago.
Wow. That is such a heavy load that them brakes are not powerful enough, nowhere near.
And I wrote about
Come on, truck, move.
Adventures in Legoland, and I
Go.
remember one of the things that got me into writing Adventures in Legoland was the pattern it developed.
Yeah, and this time I haven't got stupid amount trailer damage. I don't know what it was that caused trailer damage to Volvo. Okay.
We would always regard, and at the time I was limited to just, North America. Nobody knew who the hell I was. It was just word of mouth. It was mainly North America. Regardless of where it happened, the prosecutor and the judge, sometimes at the same time, when we asked a certain question, they would jump up and impeach the witness. They would say, objection, the witness is not qualified to testify. And it was almost
Right, I hope you enjoyed that video.
that the witness was not
Awesome,
qualified
dude.
to make legal
Doing a good job.
determinations.
Right.
Comment, like, and
What
subscribe.
the hell is going on?
All them good things does help.
Then you start
But for now,
examining it.
thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.